As chair of the NCAA Board of Governors and certainly president of Baylor, I'm proud to be a part of all of the opportunities that college sports provides to our young people and our student athletes. The concept of a student athlete is very unique in higher education to this country. You do not see that around the world. These students have an opportunity to pursue their education while also being able to compete at the highest level in terms of their athletic ability. So we believe that what we have is something really special and something that we need to really focus on preserving in a way that ensures the health, safety, and well-being of our student athletes.
College sports is also phenomenal, not just for what it does to our culture, bringing us together, but for what it does to student athletes. It provides an opportunity for thousands upon thousands of student athletes to be able to get an education. Most of the student athletes who go and compete in college are not going to earn their living as professional athletes. They're going to go do something else. But the scholarship they get to go to school lets them get a degree, lets them get a job, lets them provide for their families, and it opens the door of opportunity for people all across Texas and all across this country.
But with all of the good that we have in college sports, we know there are challenges, and the landscape of college sports is changing pretty dramatically. For example, although there's tremendous opportunity in name, image, and likeness for our student athletes, and we want our student athletes to take advantage of those opportunities, there are still more than 30 different state laws trying to govern that around the country. That's caused a lot of consternation and chaos. That's why we really need Congress to step in and provide a federal NIL standard so that our student athletes and coaches have clarity, consistency, and appropriate protections for our student athletes, especially in the recruiting process. The NCAA is encouraged that Congress is coming to the table with ideas and potential solutions to help develop a framework that would enhance student athlete protections and address many of the questions that we have around NIL activities.
Having a patchwork of 50 conflicting state laws is not a good way for college athletics to proceed. But if it's going to pass, it's got to be bipartisan. It's got to bring together Republicans and Democrats. There's got to be a consensus.
College sports are responsible for $3.8 billion in scholarships. 75% of the 2022 U.S. Olympic team were college athletes, and we also produce many of the college athletes, or many of the Olympic athletes around the world in our college sports teams. Plus, college sports are the premier stage for many women's sports in the U.S., which is close to my heart. In fact, if you watched just 2 days ago, University of Nebraska and University of Omaha played volleyball in Nebraska's football stadium, set a world record for the highest attendance ever at a women's athletic event of over 92,000 people. So college sports, particularly women's sports, is at really highest interest you can imagine around the country.
There are obviously significant health issues concerning student athletes, and the NCAA has focused on that, and when it concerns health care, the NCAA has put in requirements for Division I schools concerning health care, and I think those are important topics for universities to discuss, for the NCAA to discuss. I think a federal approach that is heavy-handed, that mandates something like the provision of health care for all student athletes, has the potential to have a really negative effect, which is for smaller schools, for schools that have a limited budget. If you drive up the cost of athletics to a spot that it is not affordable, we risk for smaller schools forcing them to eliminate their athletic teams. We also risk forcing them to eliminate athletic teams for non-revenue sports. It's one thing for college football when you've got massive TV revenues. There you've got money that a school could invest in that. But for other sports, sports that provide incredible values to student athletes, I would not want to see a federal solution that hurts small schools and that hurts non-revenue sports and that hurts women's sports. Those competitions and the benefit of being on a team, learning teamwork, learning discipline, learning hard work, all of those are enormous benefits. And so I am sure healthcare will be a topic that is discussed significantly, but we want to make sure we have an outcome that doesn't end up hurting small schools and hurting non-revenue sports.